you ever think about selling your property and you're wondering, is my house market ready? What is market ready? I don't even know. Do I reach out to a realtor? Do I want a cash offer? Do I want to reach out? Do I want to reach out to me? Did I reach out to you and you're wondering, maybe I should sell on the market. Maybe I should sell to this guy. I don't know. You got a lot of questions, right? Well, today you're in luck. We're going to go through a home and we're going to audit. Is it market ready? And this is actually on the MLS right now. So you're going to see something that's actually on the market. I'm going to give you my honest opinion on if it's market ready, if it needs work, and just see where your home stacks up, right? Because it does take some effort to be market ready. And by market ready, I mean you want the highest value that you can get out of your home. That's when you decide to put something on the MLS. You want the highest value for your home. So again, we're going to start with the curb appeal. There's three things that really it takes to be market ready, and I always go back to curb appeal, cleanliness, and repairs. And if you need 2.5 of those three things done in order to be market ready, in my opinion. So we're going to start with curb appeal for this home right here. Now you hear curb appeal all the time. If you worked with a realtor before, if you've ever sold your home before to an agent or been on the market, they always talk about curb appeal. So why is curb appeal so important? Well, when you pull up to a house, and again, this is the house we're looking at right here. When you pull up to a house, it's literally the first impression that you're going to get on the home. So first impressions do matter. And, usually people decide if they are interested in a home within the first 3 or 4 minutes. That's all it takes to see if they're interested. So the curb appeal is massively important. So when I'm looking at this home right here, right, we just came out of winter, so the grass is a little brown. It's not something that I would expect to be ready to go right now. So a lot of people, especially here in the Northeast, aren't really going to care too much about that, unless it's spring and everything's blooming. You kind of want to have that ready to go. But grass isn't overgrown. The gutters are facing out. It looks like they're keeping up with it. The siding is not a complete mess, not dirty. There's nothing dipping or falling out or anything crazy going on. The shrubs, again, well kept. They have a nice little setup. It looks like they take care of it, and that's really what you're looking for. Have they taken care of this property? That's kind of why the curb appeal matters, is because if they're not taking care of it, and you could see it right when you show up, you could be sure that the rest of the house isn't going to be much better. So everything's pretty well kept. It looks pretty good. So we're gonna take a look inside now and see if the rest of the house holds up to the initial look of it. So again, you get a walk on the porch here, and you kind of just take a look around, right? What's it looking like here? So at first look, the siding looks to be okay, but when I get closer here, it's really dirty. Um, it really could just a quick power wash, and this would be 10 times better. And that's an easy thing that a homeowner could do to be more market ready. Again, this is white siding, so it's going to show dirt really easily. Again, the rest of the porch, there's a little bit, some loose flashing here. Not a huge deal. Not the average homeowner is going to notice that, but even here, you got some tape here. That it doesn't look great. But again, a good washing would have done, it would have went a long way for this seller. You could tell windows are old for sure. I mean, they're cracked. It needs to be repainted. The windows themselves, they seem like newer windows, but they probably could be replaced, to be honest with you. And it's a fairly large expense, but there's only 3 windows here. I'd replace them before I put it on the market. The porch itself, in pretty good shape. It's concrete. It looks like they painted it not too long ago, so that was a good idea. I think they could have went the extra mile and just done the rails. The paint's chipping. Again, all this is just to say, is the owner taking care of this, right? And these are little stupid things that, as a new buyer, they're going to have to take care of, or they're going to ignore it. But if they're like me, and they're looking at coming into this home, they kind of want to move in, and they don't want to have an enormous amount of uh, things to take care of. And this is over, I think, $315,000. This home, It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's, it's not huge. So, I mean, it's not cheap. This isn't cheap. The neighborhood, again, it's a great neighborhood, but it's not cheap either. So this is a huge red flag for me. There's holes, right in the siding, right? Not good. You got to replace these. You got to replace them, or you got to do something. Just having this out is just a huge red flag to me. Even the gutter up here it's semi-detached. Is it going to cause an issue? Maybe not, but it's as someone moving in, again, you got to think about the buyers coming in. It's just something that they have to deal with, and it lowers the value. So when I first walk in here, one thing is it's vacant, it's empty. So it's just like a complete blank slate. Sometimes you'll get furniture and things in the home, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you have furniture in the home, again, you want to go back to the 3 main things. You got curb appeal, cleanliness, and repairs. If you have furniture and you're still living in here and you're going in and out for showings, it's got to be clean, right? It's got to be clean. It's got to smell good. You got to walk in and it can't be disgusting, right? It can't. If you are not taking care of it in a reasonable fashion, then you're not market ready. If you have a hoarder house and you got stuff everywhere and in piles and piles and piles, you are not ready. You're not market ready. Give me a call. Yeah, I'll take care of it for you. You won't have to worry about a thing, but do not put it on the MLS because you're not going to get what it's worth. You're just not. So, again, the homeowner all they had to do was put some spackle. That's it. Some spackle. And it looks like they painted not that long ago. The paint doesn't look, ridiculously old. All they had to do, there's a lot of holes in the walls. A lot of holes. And it would have upped the value, or it would have been easier to get their price, the market price with the list price, if they had just taken care of these things. I will tell you that these sellers are relying on the strength of the market to get this price because they're not doing the little things that they should be doing. The molding all looks good. The floors, again, I kind of usually like to jump on them, walk around, make sure there's no dips, no major repairs in the floors. Nothing's coming up. This is true hardwood, so that's nice. It was laid kind of weird. They kind of divided it up, but still, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's real hardwood, which I like. I know a lot of people are going with the LVP anymore, but just I don't like it as much. So we'll head in the kitchen then, see what's in here. So now is where we get into the LVP. So this is LVP flooring. Looks fairly new. It's a small area, so one area they always miss is the closets. So let's take a look. They did do the closets. However, they did, and 9 times out of 10 they're not going to. If you can see this here, they don't go under. They never take the molding off. And why is that important? Because these floors move, so they expand and contract. They're floating floors. That's why they call them floating floors, because there's nothing holding it to it. They actually put oh no, they didn't. I thought they put a nail in here for a second. But these will expand and contract when the weather gets hot, gets cool, and it's supposed to do that. However, what you're supposed to do, and this is all throughout the entire closet here, is you're supposed to put it under the molding, and there's spacers that go in there, and you use these spacers you give it a little wiggle room, but they're not supposed to move. So I guarantee within 4 years, probably sooner, this floor will be shifting quite a bit, at least in the closet. We can take a quick look around the kitchen to see. Again, the closet, little pantry here, it's not in great shape. Again, this could have easily just been painted and it would have looked a lot better. Everything's loose. It's okay, it's not a make or break. It's not like not everybody is going over the entire house with a fine-tooth comb like I am right now. But when I go to look at a house, you know, if you call me and you want me to come look at your house, either to list or to, you know, make an offer, these are the things I'm looking at. You know, what are the things that I need to replace, repair, fix, paint? Because all that costs money, right? And time, effort, and energy. Rest of the kitchen, not bad. You know, it could have been clean. To be honest with you, it's really gritty. Actually, I believe they painted. Yeah, they did some painting, and they got it on the tile and never cleaned it. And there's residual there. So again, not great. It's not a great idea. Even the windows, again, windows should be replaced. Should all be replaced. And there's not a whole lot of windows in here. Even if they just did the little ones, it would have been a lot better. But oh yeah, I mean this is just not good. It's not good. You know, it's chip paint. Doesn't look good. I mean, it's clear as day. So far, I'm not impressed. I don't think it's worth what it's listed, especially because they just didn't take care of little things. I mean, this is bad. This is exposed wires. You know, that's not good. I'm not even touching them because who knows? You get shocked in it. Closet, nothing major there. Again, you got your vent here. It's coming off the wall a bit, and you know, is it a big deal? No. It's something that the new owner's gonna have to take care of. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look like it looks like they half-assed it, right? So what else is half-assed in this house? That's where my mind goes to. So, you know, if I'm buying this home and my kids are gonna live here, my wife's gonna live here, I'm gonna have to take care of all these little nuisances that were left for me. And I don't wanna pay over $315,000 for a bunch of nuisances. It's not what I want to do. Not a whole lot of lighting, which again, it's not a huge deal, but it's something that I would change. And you could add lights for a very minimal amount of money. Bathroom, again, it's okay. It checks out with the rest of the house. You could tell the LVP flooring again was kind of half-assed. I believe this will shift in a few years. It's hard to see, but in that LVP flooring, I believe it's something that the new owner's gonna have to deal with. We have again another vent cover here. That's, you know, kind of it's just the wrong size. Just get the proper size and don't worry about that. The tub itself, it looks like they painted in here, but they need a new tub. It's dirty. It's tiny. It's like a 3/4 tub. I've never actually seen this. It's like a 3/4 tub. It's hard if you get a good look at this, but it's like a 3/4 tub. I've never seen that before. But they do need a new tub for sure. Take a look at this. This is probably what they used. Maybe they used their master. They kind of made it look like they are. You know, again, let's take a look at this little detail work that they did. It's okay. I don't want to nitpick it too much. It's okay. Again, they went through the trouble to do some of this stuff, but they didn't clean their windows. You know, they didn't patch the big hole. Like, there are big holes in this wall. They're deep. You gotta, if you're gonna say, at least, please fill in the holes. At very minimum, just fill in the holes. It doesn't take long to do. I think the biggest thing is, you know, repainting, obviously, but come on, you gotta do that. Let's see what else we got here. So that's the upstairs. Nothing else really stands out. As far as major repairs, it doesn't look like, we can go out on the deck then. Let's go downstairs. It doesn't look like they have a huge amount of major repairs. I just think it's a lot of little stuff that they could have done better to get that highest price. That's what yeah, it's minimal investment, minimal. You're talking about some paint and some holes. The basement, it's unfinished, um, which is fine. I don't smell any must. I don't smell any water. The panel, the box, it looks real nice. They got a lot of extra, a lot of extra spots here. It's 200 amp, so it's a pretty small house to have a 200 amp. So I think you got a lot of room here. Down here, there's nothing crazy sticking out to me. It just kind of looks like an area that they just use for laundry. Nothing major. Oh, this is the garage. Oh, interesting. So there's light, no light down here, but garage itself. So again, something that I would do is you see light through the bottom here. The floor is very bumpy. It's a poorly laid concrete floor, or I don't know. It's like they ran it right over the ground. I'm not really sure what they did here, but I don't see anything necessarily wrong with it. You want to park your car here, that's fine. It's sufficient. You see, all their piping looks in decent shape. Here's a little light here. There we go. It's old, but it's not in bad shape. You typically don't see them paint it, so. And then they have their oil tank here, which they're using. It's insulated down here, so that's a benefit at least, but nothing major. I think the only thing down here is they could really cover up the bottom there, and that's mainly for water, right? And we'll go take a look outside and see if they get water intrusion, see how it's sloped, and get a good idea if that's even necessary. But there's one more. It's actually bigger than I thought in here. You got a little area down here. What's weird to me is they finished here. They didn't finish in there. So why? I would just do both. Finished basements aren't necessarily a money maker anyway in our area. So I wouldn't focus. I guess I wouldn't focus too much on it. But they have the HVAC down here. Why not just do both rooms? It makes sense to me. Again, windows seem older, a little older. Could be replaced, but it's not horrible. Check out the bathroom down here. The bathroom looks newer, but it's honestly, again, it's just kind of dirty. Just get it clean. Just hire a cleaner. It's a minimal cost, guys. Minimal cost to hire a cleaner for this, and just especially if you're not going to be living in it. This is vacant. Just hire a cleaner to clean this all up. It's a nice little bathroom though. Convenient. One thing about this is the floor here is very bumpy. And there's carpet, and it's definitely a peel and stick carpet. I could see the square tiles, which is I would definitely do that in a basement, but I'm just curious if they're like hiding something here because it's very bumpy, and carpet's an easy way. These peel and stick carpets are an easy way to hide things because you don't. LVP flooring, just a little bonus tip for you with LVP flooring, is if you put LVP flooring down and you have any sort of raise in the floor, it becomes very, very difficult. I can't understand where these lights are coming. It becomes very, very difficult to lay. Carpet, you do not have that problem. Guys, I'm giving you guys gold here. Come on now. You got to give me a like, a subscribe, because these are tips you're not going to get everywhere, especially from an investor that's looking to buy your house, right? Which typically that's what I'm doing. If you're reaching out to me to buy your house, these are the things I'm going to look at, guys. You could easily fix some of these up. All right, let's take a look outside here. So again, they painted the foundation here, that's a nice touch. I always recommend doing that. Again, minimal cost to do that, and it looks nice. You got the privacy fence, and it's in pretty decent shape. The yard, I'm assuming they had a dog. Assuming there was a dog here because there's a lot of little holes. a lot of little holes. And I would, we just came out of winter, so it's hard to, nitpick on the yard. But if it's spring, summer, and you can, I would fill the holes in and plant grass. Let's take a look at this deck. Decks are hit or miss, and this is not a good deck. I shake this deck, and the whole deck shakes. I'm not even going up there. I'm not even doing it. It's not risking it. It's not worth it, guys. It's the whole thing shakes. I'd be curious if there was a permit for this deck. Yeah, it's attached to the house, and it looks like they did some of the right things, but it is as this needs to be replaced within 5 years tops. I wouldn't even. I'd replace it immediately if I was the owner. So this is the back now of the driveway. This is a nice little bonus, though. You wouldn't expect this. There's a lot of little nice things about the property, so I can see where they're trying to get this price. I don't think they're gonna get it, to be honest with you. So we were gonna look at the slope of the driveway. It actually slopes up all the way here, so I thought that was a positive sign. But then it slopes right into the basement there. When it rains, there's water getting in there, guaranteed, 100% guaranteed. Water is getting in that basement. So again, it's a red flag, because then what's going on in there with the foundation, with the floor, it just doesn't, it's not good. And even to that point, I'm looking at this concrete berm here, and it is completely detached from the house, and it's shifted by 3 inches. So if you're looking straight down here, it's no longer straight, it's leaning. So that's a problem. It's a problem. And it's not a now problem, but it's a 10-year problem. If someone's trying to make this their home for a long time, that will have to be fixed. So all in all, guys, these are the things that, if you call me for an offer and you want me to come take a look at your house, and you're expecting me to pay a higher price, these are the things you should look at. First thing I'm going to look at is, take care of the little things. Take care of those little things. If you want to put your home on the market and you want to get the best price possible, you need to take care of these little things. Cleanliness, hire a cleaner. Holes in the wall, small repairs, fix them. Because once people start digging, they dig and they dig and they dig. Especially someone like me, I'm going to dig and dig and dig and find every little thing I have to fix. In a house like this, if I were going to buy this house, typically what I'll do is I turn all the sinks on, flush all the shower, flush the toilets, run the dishwasher for a minute, make sure it all works. But I guarantee there's a lot of little things that are not done here. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad house, because it's not. It's in reasonable good shape for someone. For over $300,000, though, no way. I don't agree. I don't agree with the price. I don't believe this is market ready, in my opinion. There's a lot of little things that could have been done, and I don't know the situation of the seller. Maybe they had to leave right away. Maybe they didn't have time to take care of this stuff. Maybe their realtor just didn't explain this to them. I don't know. You never know what you're going to get. But they could have done better, for sure, to get that price that they want. They're really relying on the local market, which is a very strong market, I will say, but it's not the best approach. You can't be the neighborhood, though. Very quiet neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. Great school district, great neighborhood. So they're really banking on that to help them out here. There's a good, without the concrete berm, there's a good, I don't know, $20,000 worth of work here to be done. I didn't even look at the roof, to be honest with you. This doesn't include any of the roof. This doesn't include the berm in the back. This doesn't include any sort of major inspections of any utilities or anything. I'd say there's $20,000 worth of things to do. to make it really market ready. But if you're in this situation and you have all these little things and you have some big things and some repairs, if you don't have the cleanliness down, if you don't have the repairs done, and you don't have the curb appeal, or again, you need 2.5 of those 3 things done. If you don't have 2.5 of those 3 things done and you don't want to do them, you give me a call and I will come out and see the property and I'll give you a cash offer and we can go from there. If you want to get those things done, by all means, please do them. Use this video as a guide. These are the things that you should be getting done ahead of time to make it market ready. All right, guys, again, please give me a call if you want to talk about it further. Have a great day. I appreciate you guys watching the video.